We're back. So let's get right back to the Arnold. You know, it did start to get some headlines because when you guys were coming off stage, people were waiting, hey, what was happening? Who said what? I even think there was something about you guys had to be separated backstage. And the long and the short was Brandon came away winning. And it seemed like at the time that probably was a big kick in your ass, but whatever happened, it lit some kind of fire because boy, did you go on a run. Whew.
You know, I had to explain to people that sometimes things happen for a reason. Honestly, if I would have won that show, I don't think I would have the same mentality as I have right now. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be in killer mode, you know. But, you know, because of some of the things that he said to me, I wanted to make sure that, you know, he wasn't able to say those things again, you know. So it's nothing against him. It was just, that loss is a loss that I'm chasing and I can never get. Right. So each and every time, you know, no matter how many times I win, it doesn't matter because I always think back to the one that, you know, I really wanted. I'm from Columbus. The last guy who won it was just Mike Francois. He works out in my gym. And, you know, that was one that I really wanted, you know, but it made me hungry, it made me thirsty, and, you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though I still want it, you know. You know, it is what it is. You know? So
run us through the rest of the year because, man, that loss, Brandon's win, actually is what catapulted you into the position you are now. So let's call it what it is. That rivalry and that jostling between the two of you and him coming out on top is probably what ended up making you a much better athlete. Now run us through the rest of the year where you just started destroying shows. Well,
I still had to qualify.
Right.
So I just, you know, I always like to do the President's Show, which is Pittsburgh, and I won New York last year, so those were two automatic. I had to go back to defend my title. And then I always wanted to do a Europa show. I did the Orlando Europa 2014. Last year they didn't have it, you know, so I wanted to do that. And went down to Orlando, ended up getting a win, qualified. And then, like I said, I had already signed the contracts for, you know, Pittsburgh. And went into Pittsburgh. Really, I was expecting it to be like a bigger show, like as far as the amount of guys that showed up, and the numbers were down. It was like 15 guys or something like that. So ended up, you know, winning there, and then I knew that I was facing Andre Ferguson, and we seen how he came at the Arnold sharp. You know, nowadays guys ain't playing. I mean, Brandon's sharp. He has a great back. You know what I mean?
Shows the one and lost from behind.
His back is great, you know. And I know Andre was gonna come sharp, so I made sure, you know, that I was at my best, and, you know, ended up coming out with the win, and, you know, after that shut it down and was preparing for right now.
So you went on a run, you won 3 really big shows, and it puts you in line here for the Olympia this year. Now, give us a little insight on what you're feeling, knowing how competitive you are, knowing after what happened at the Arnold, and even though you made a run and just really walked through all those other shows, what is your feeling now knowing that the talk is still now Brandon and Jeremy and Brandon, you know, are you now feeling a little slighted, or are you saying, hey, go ahead, you guys sleep on me and I'm going to show you what's going to happen?
You know, to be honest, everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their fan bases, and if you like a guy, no matter what, you're gonna roll with your guy. To be honest, I could care less about, you know, opinions, because that's all they are.
Right.
I know that my job is to, you know, focus, and you know, I'm very quiet. Like, you know, I just want to let my work speak for itself, and that's pretty much it. I don't really get into all of the talk, you know. Once we get up there, I always say the chips are gonna fall,
right?
And then that's gonna be that, you know. But you know, I definitely want to make sure that I'm at my best. I feel like I'm at my best. Another thing we didn't get to do at the Arnold was present, you know, do my presentation. So I definitely feel like I'm a pretty good poser, and I'll be able to show, you know, my routine at Olympia, and it's you know, I feel fantastic about it, and I can't wait.
I honestly think that this year's men's physique division is going to be the most competitive of all the divisions. I do think that everyone has to realize, even though the talk is Jeremy and Brandon, that makes for an even better George Brown. And then you do have the usual suspects of Jason Poston and Ryan Terry. And like you said, Ferguson has really improved his physique. So you've got a log jam there. I think it's safe to say that you have moved up to the top of that three-headed monster, like we said, in the women's physique division. People like to talk about Jason and Terry. They have huge fan bases. They have traditionally done very well. They're great athletes. I think it's safe to say, though, with the year that you've had, the three of you are going to be battling there supposedly as the top three. But again, you've got three other competitors that if one of you is off by a hair,
dead man,
they can slip in and take that spot. So I think that the men's physique division this year is going to be the most competitive here at the 2016 Olympia.
I love it. I feel like it's it's short of the waist ratio, of course, but once you start talking top five in any division, it's apples and oranges for the most part. It's like, what are you doing to separate yourself from the next person?
Right.
Poston, he has his fan base. Terry has his fan base. Means absolutely nothing to me. That's just a fan base. Right. It has nothing to do with us competing. So with those guys, like I said,
it's not a popularity contest.
No, it's not. And it doesn't really mean anything when it comes down to competing and getting on stage.
Right.
So that's what I focus on. I don't get caught up in the amount of, I think out of everybody, I have the least followers on my, my networks. But, I don't care. Right. When I get up there, I'm just trying to, work.
Right.
So,
Well, George, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. I'm glad you got a chance to sit down in front of the cameras and let everybody else know a little bit more about you. And I think we need to sit down a little bit more. You talk about the following being not where it should be. Well, it should be there, because whether someone likes you or doesn't like you, you're a good athlete and you bring it on stage every time. And with that being said, being a fan of the sport, we want to see more of you. We want to hear more about you. So we look forward to seeing you on stage in a few days. And we wish you the best of luck, because remember, you are from the Midwest. You are from the Midwest.
Midwest Muscle Report.
That's right. This is Midwest Muscle Report.
Me,
absolutely. Amanda Spalko, George Brown. Until next time, guys, we're out.